I guess the sort of beef we do and I supply to other restaurants and people is it's grass-fed, grass-finished, regeneratively farmed beef. So there's no grains involved. It's all on organic pastures, no chemicals involved, and we're using methods that follow nature. We're not just sticking them in a paddock and set stocking, which can be really bad for the soil, the land. We're moving them around, and it's just a simple thing of using nature as our guide. Cattle run in herds, they move, they don't go back and forth, they move along, they graze, they manure, they impact the soil, all for the better, and then they move on, let it recover. So by following those basic principles, we end up with a much better product, but also much better land. So at the end of the day, we're trying to work on ways to farm beef that is better for the land, better for the animal, and ultimately better for us. Unfortunately, grass-fed is an unregulated term in Australia. So when you see that on a label, yeah, sure, at some point it was on a field eating grass, but that still means it could have spent 2 months in a feedlot being pumped grain just to get that fat level, just to get the weight up in time to make it economical, to make a good business. So it speeds up that process. It's not natural, and cattle aren't designed to eat grain. But unfortunately, and with the labelling out there and all that sort of stuff, it's very easy to be fooled into thinking that this packet of meat with grass-fed on it is the right thing. But unfortunately, as an unregulated term, it can be finished on grains and can be finished in a feedlot even. So finishing is that idea of how it's spent its last couple of months before turning into food. So I practice grass-finished beef. We sell grass-finished beef to customers to educate them that yes, this was on grass its entire life, not just at some point. And that's not a regulated thing. So it's very hard to sort of pinpoint if you're just looking at the labels. And we always talk about going beyond the label, making the extra effort to educate yourself and know more about your food, and that's just something we need to do going into the future. This is sunlight energy, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Like, the sun comes down and grows this stuff, cows eat it, they churn it, create all sorts of biology, put energy back into the soil, and then it creates food. And that's a beautiful natural cycle that we've completely ignored. And we go and, we've done crazy things like rip down forest, cleared land to grow grain, to feed an animal that doesn't eat grain. And that just blows my mind a bit, really, when this beautiful cycle is happening. The sunlight is producing a food for the cattle. And even this process of it growing up and the roots getting down in the soil, they graze it down, that cycle alone is really good for the soil. So we can use the cattle as a tool to put carbon into the soil. We can use the animal to build better soil and create healthier lands and create healthier food. I'm sure that if all the beef in the world was grass-fed, grass-finished, regeneratively farmed, we would see massive change on this planet. Absolutely sure. And it's just a simple fact of looking to nature. I mean, we just start with that. Follow the guide that nature is putting right in front of us. And have consumers aware of these things so that they can drive that whole thing. If consumers don't understand that sort of stuff and buy things accordingly, nothing will happen. So, it's a real, producers have to produce better, but consumers have to consume much better. That's what really drives it. We have to eat better.